Good morning, viewers. Thank you for watching Delta TV and the Tusome program. I'm teacher Nanyas Harriet, and I'm going to take you in a P250/3, Geography of Uganda and Field Work. And like we did yesterday, I would like us to first have these guiding questions. Account for the variation in the volume of fish catch from the water bodies in Uganda. Account for the variation in the volume of fish catch from the water bodies in Uganda. That question requires us to first give the status of fishing in Uganda, draw the sketch map of Uganda showing the major fishing grounds, give and explain the reasons why there is high fish catch on Lake Victoria and Lake Kyoga, and low fish catch on Lakes Albert, George, Edward, and others. For every point you give, you must show or write the distinguishing words like while, but, compared to, whereas, on the other hand, however, and the others. Then for every point you give, you must give an example or examples with their locations. Thereafter, you'll be required to give the conclusion. There we go. The status of the fishing industry in Uganda. The 60% of the fish caught in Uganda is consumed while still fresh, and just 40% is preserved using preservation methods like deep freezing, frying, smoking, sun drying, and salting. And we shall find out that the biggest fishing ground in Uganda is Lake Victoria in Wakiso. It is followed by Lake Kyoga in Kayunga. Then other fishing grounds include Lake Albert, Lake George, Lake Edward, and many others. The technology used in the fishing industry in Uganda is still rudimentary, it is traditional. The fishermen usually use basket traps, they use hooks or hooking, but of recent they have also introduced modern methods of fishing like long lining and gill netting. Then when we move to the preservation methods, they are also using traditional methods like smoking, like salting and sun drying. But of recent, there has also been the introduction of deep freezing. And many fishermen move with the ice in insulated boats when going for fishing in the lakes. We shall also find out that the major fish products which are exported to outside countries are fish fillet, fish oil. We have also fish skin and others. And the major market of fish and fish products from Uganda is European Union. And I believe all of us know some of the examples of the countries found in the European Union. But even fish caught in Uganda is usually exported to our neighbors like South Sudan, like DR Congo. That is what I can give about the status of fishing in Uganda. The question is asking us to account for before we look at the accounting for the variations. After you have given the status, I will request you to always draw a sketch map showing the major fishing grounds in Uganda. And when you have drawn this map, please endeavor to indicate all the major fishing grounds, starting from the lakes. And we have our major lake Victoria, we have Kyoga, we have Edward, and we have Edward and George, and even Lake Albert. As you draw these, as you indicate these fishing grounds, endeavor to put there at least 4 all three landing sites. We have the Majanje landing site on Lake Victoria in Busia. We have Masese in Jinja. We have Kasenyi in Wakiso. We have Mizinda in Rakai. We also have Pasensero in Rakai. We have Dimu. We have Goma. We also have another landing site called Lambu in Masaka. Then when we move to Lake Albert, we can easily see Ntoroko, and in Ntoroko we have Butiaba in Hoima, we have Wanseko in Hoima, and also Bulisa in Bulisa is found in Bulisa. Then when we move to Lake Edward, we can see our Renshama. We have very many other landing sites there. Then include there the rivers, the major rivers which are acting as major fishing grounds in Uganda. We have River Katonga in Impigi. We have our River Nile in Kayunga, the Albert Nile in the West Nile districts like Zombo, like Nebi, like Arua and Moyo. Then on this map, endeavor to indicate the fishing ponds. We shall realize that in Uganda of recent there has been the introduction of fish farming, and very many businessmen have established fish farms. And among the fish farms or ponds that we have in Uganda, we have our common one, the Kajans ponds in Wakiso. We have Nkoma ponds in Ibale, Palisa ponds in Palisa, Igang ponds. We have Chitangala ponds. Chitangala ponds are found around here in Nakasongola. We have Chiboga ponds. We have Kabale ponds, and many others. Then we have also fishing being carried out around the swamps, the lacustrine swamps, which are around the lakes, especially around Lake Victoria and the Lake Choga, where we have Rwampanga in Nakasongola. We have our Galilaya in Kayunga. On Lake Victoria, we have very many swamps. We have Nabugabo swamp in Masaka, Lambu swamp in Masaka. We also have Sangobe swamp in Kasensero and many others. Then we have the riverine swamps along the major rivers. They have also been very important in as far as the development of fishing is concerned. After you have drawn that map, please, when you're drawing this map, respect the qualities of a good map. Always write the title, show the north direction, include the boundaries. This is South Sudan, not Sudan. It is South Sudan. We have Kenya in the east. We have DR Congo. These ones are well known to each of us. Now, can we move to the question now, to the gist of the question? It is asking us to account for the variation in fish catch from the different lakes in Uganda. That question is not very hard. One thing you need to know that fishing is importantly carried out along Lake Victoria, and it is our major fishing ground. Actually, the total fish catch from that lake accounts for about 48%, followed by Lake Choga, which has a percentage of about 38%. When you total up, we are going to come up with 86%. Then 4% is from Lake George and Edward. The 8% is from Lake Albert, and the remaining 2% goes to the other fishing grounds, meaning that Lake Victoria and Lake Choga have the highest volume of fish caught in Uganda. And the other fishing grounds have a low fish catch. What brings about that difference? Why is it that there is higher catch from Lake Victoria and Lake Choga and low catch from Albert, George and Edward? One, Lake Victoria and the Choga are big lakes, and so they have a bigger surface area for fish breeding, bring about the higher catch. compared to Lake Albert, Lake George, Lake Edward, Kazinga Channel, and many other fishing grounds, which have a low surface area or a small surface area leading to the low catch. Then we shall find out that Lake Victoria and Kyoga are surrounded by various swamps, and they have also indented coastlines or shorelines. These indented shorelines and the swamps have been paramount in the breeding of fish. And so there is always the multiplication of fish around those two lakes, bring about the higher catch compared to the other lakes, Albert, George, Edward, which are Rift Valley lakes. So they have a steep or a straight indented line, which cannot act as a proper breeding place for fish, bring about a low fish catch. Then we shall also agree that Lake Victoria has abundant planktons. It has abundant planktons. Planktons is just food for fish, and Lake Victoria has large amounts of planktons, which have made it possible for the multiplication of fish around that area, and so bring about higher catch. While the other lakes, the other water bodies like Albert, like George, have a limited number of planktons, which has brought about a low catch. We shall also agree that Lake Victoria and Kyoga are located in areas which are densely populated, and so there is a large market for fish. This has encouraged many businessmen to carry out fishing because they know that they will be able to sell their fish at the time of harvest. And so we are having higher catch around Lake Victoria and the Kyoga because of the dense population in Kayunga, Mukono, Jinja, Wakiso, Kampala, Masaka, Mpigi, and more others. And so leading to a high catch compared to Lake Albert, George, Edward, Kazinga Channel, and more other lakes, which are situated in areas which are either moderately populated or sparsely populated. And at the end of the day, we are going to see low catch from those areas. Then these two lakes, the Victoria and the Kyoga, have been situated in areas where we have rich investors who have abundant capital to invest in fishing. They can afford to buy the modern fish gear. They can afford to hire skilled labor. They can afford to advertise their businesses. And at the end of the day, we are seeing a higher catch from Lake Victoria and even from Lake Kyoga. While around Lake Albert, Lake George, Lake Edward, and other lakes, we have poor investors who do not have enough funds to invest in fishing. And at the end of the day, their catch is going to be lower as compared to the one caught from Lake Victoria and Kyoga. Then in this region where these two lakes are located, I'm referring to Kyoga and Victoria, there is high use of modern fishing methods. They are using motorized boats, they use gill netting method, they use long lining method, which are commercial fishing methods, which bring about higher catch compared to the traditional methods used on Lake Albert, on George, on Edward, and therefore a lower catch as compared to the one that is caught from Lake Victoria. And then even we are going to find out that the major fishing grounds, let me say Victoria and the Kyoga, been connected with modern transport routes, which has made it possible for the transportation of fishing gear to the learning sites, and also the fish to the market. A case in example is the Masese Road connecting Jinja to Masese, and this one has made it possible for the fishermen to sell their fish to the nearby markets like Jinja, Mukono, and Kampala. We shall also find a modern road that has been constructed from off Kampala Entebbe Road called Nabagereka Road. That Nabagereka Road is connecting Kasenyi Learning Site, and this has made it possible for people for the fishermen to sell their fish to the nearby markets of Entebbe, Kampala, and others. If you moved to Rakai, you find Pinto Road, which is connecting Kasensero Fish Learning Site, and therefore there is a higher catch from Lake Victoria compared to the Rift Valley lakes like Edward, which are connected with undeveloped transport network. Then again, the area where these major fishing grounds are located is a bit secure. There is security around those lakes, and so fishermen do not have any problem. They do not have any fear of getting problems in as far as destroying their fishing gear, maybe the pirates taking away their fish, their gear, and the like. But when you move to the western part of Uganda, where we have our Albert, George, and Edward, the place is always insecure. If you can remember what happened in the mid-90s, there was the ADF insurgents in those areas. So many business people ran out from that place, bring about a low catch. Recently, we had what we call the Rwenzururu insurgency. And so, fishing could not take place around those lakes because of insecurity, bringing about a low catch. Then there are also differences in research. You agree with me that because Lake Victoria and Lake Victoria and Kyoga are located in densely populated areas, there has been a lot of research that has been carried in the fishing industry. That's why we have a lot of fish farming around Kampala, around Wakiso, Jinja, and Mukono. We've just talked about the ponds. We are seeing our Kajans ponds. There is a lot of fish farming there. Very many businessmen have started rearing fish. You've heard of Yugachik also rearing fish. And so this has increased the catch around those lakes. Then we have what we call fish caging. Here many people have tried to get plots of water, plots on Lake Victoria. And this has brought about sustainable use of Lake Victoria, increasing the catch around that place. But when you go to Lake Albert, Lake George, and the like, the fishing industry is not well developed because there is limited research. The preservation methods around Lake Victoria are also modern. And some fishermen do not have any fear of their fish getting going bad because of poor preservation methods. And so we have methods like icing or deep freezing. They are also using salting and sun drying. But when you move to Albert, Edward, and other lakes, the preservation methods are rudimentary or they are traditional. They are using smoking, which usually does not preserve fish for a long time, and this discourages fishermen from extracting higher catch. Then we have another question, which is explain the measures being taken to modernize the fishing industry in Uganda. The measures that have been taken to modernize the fishing industry in Uganda are quite many. We shall find out that fishing has always has always suffered from the water weed, the water hyacinth. This has been controlled by harvesting it mechanically or by using what we call the bioeco method. They use the Benin beetle, like at Masese learning site or Lake Victoria in Jinja, like at Kasensero learning site or Lake Victoria in Rakai. This one has destroyed the weed, and now fish can easily breed and multiply. Then there are still explaining the measures being taken to improve the fishing industry in Uganda. We are continuing from there. We are saying that the government has tried to improve on the transport sector. On the transport sector, especially those roads that are connecting the landing sites for easy transportation of the fishing gear, the workers, and also fish and fish products from the landing sites. A good example is Nabagereka Road, which is connecting Nabagereka, which is connecting Kasenyi landing site to major markets like Entebbe, Kampala, and the others. We have Masese Road. This one is connecting Masese to Jinja and other market centers. We have Pinto Road. Pinto Road is connecting Kasensero learning site of Lake Victoria to major markets like Chotera, like Masaka, and the other markets. And so this has encouraged fishing to take place. Then there is improved research. Improved research, which has led to the restocking of the depleted lakes like Lake Victoria. We have also had the fish caging, where businessmen have tried to buy plots on the water body, and this has brought about sustainable use of the lakes, and therefore increasing on the fish catch and earning a lot of revenue to the government. They have also tried to training skilled labor at the different universities, especially Makerere University and also the Entebbe Institute of Fisheries. There, many people have been trained in as far as fishing is concerned. They have made researches in how to improve on the fishing industry, and at the end of the day, we are seeing fishing developing at a higher level. We also have introduction of modern methods of fishing. Modern methods of fishing, like long lining, like gill netting, like trolling, majorly used on Lake Victoria. These have increased on the catch, and it has helped the government to earn a lot of foreign exchange, because these are commercial methods of fishing. When they get a bigger catch, then they sell it off to the outside countries, especially European Union. We shall also agree that many learning sites have been modernized and upgraded. We have piers which have been constructed around those learning sites, like Gaba in Kampala, like at Kasensero in Wakiso, like at Lambu in Masaka. These piers help in the landing of boats and other vessels. We have also weighing sheds which have been constructed there. We have ice stores which provide ice to the fishermen as they move towards the lakes to carry out fishing. All these modern facilities which have been put around those landing sites have helped in the development of fishing in Uganda. We shall also find out that they have also tried, the fishermen have tried to form cooperative societies which have helped them to get loans and increase on their capital so that they can have commercial fishing. And these circles have helped them to get loans from different commercial banks like Stanbic, Centenary Bank and others. And this one has boosted them. They can now afford to use modern fishing methods. They can afford to use modern preservation methods. And at the end of the day, this has boosted the fishing industry. Then we have what we call marine police, which has tried to promote security, promotion of security along major fishing grounds like Lake Victoria. This has controlled the sea pirates. It has also controlled the death of fishermen, the smuggling of fish along the water bodies, especially Lake Victoria and Lake Kyoga. And this one has earned a lot of revenue to the country because the fish that used to be smuggled outside the country can always be brought to our economy, and then we earn a lot of foreign exchange. Then we have also different different industries which are located around the major lakes, like industries like Uganda breweries at Luzira, the Bidco company at Masese. They have been encouraged to always treat their wastes before being disposed of into the lake, and this has promoted fishing because there is always multiplication of fish that does no longer suffocate because of impurities, and so increasing on the catch and the industry. And then briefly, that's what I can say about that first question. But one thing you need to know in paper 3, you have to first of all give the status for these topical questions. You have to give the status. After you have given the status, always draw a sketch map of Uganda showing those particular features that are required to be indicated in that map, and respect the qualities of a good map. Then after you have done that, go into the gist of the question and answer it. But if a question is having only one part, if it doesn't have part A and B, then you're required to always write more than 20 points. And then if it is having part A and part B, the first part at least always write not less than 15 points, and the part B you write not less than 10 points for you to earn marks. Now I want to move to another question. I want us to move to another question. Assess the impact of forests on the environment in Uganda. Assess the impact of forests on the environment in Uganda. The approach is there. You're supposed to first of all give the status of forests or forestry in Uganda. Draw a sketch map. You're giving the status. Then the sketch, you draw the sketch map of Uganda showing the major forests. Then after you have done that, you will give the positive contribution and negative contribution, then conclusion. Now the status. Uganda's forestry industry is composed of many forests, and the major forests are called the tropical rainforests. The tropical rain forests, which account for about 81.1% of the total land covered by the forests in Uganda. These tropical rainforests have been subdivided into three. We have what we call the tropical lowland forests, tropical lowland forests. And among the examples, we have Mabira forest in Bwikwe. We have Marabigambo, Marabigambo. This one is in Bushenyi, but you can also find some traces of this forest in Rubirizi. We have Malamagambo. Malamagambo forest is found in Rakai. We have Budongo. Budongo is in Masindi, but you can also find it in Kiryandongo. We have Bugoma. Bugoma is found in Hoima. These ones are called tropical lowland forests. We have what we call the tropical highland forests. The tropical highland forests include those forests which are found along the slopes of mountains. And the examples, we have Mountain Elgon Forest. Mountain Elgon Forest, this one is found in Mbale. We have Mountain Renzori Forest in Kasese. We have what we call Bwindi Impenetrable. In the Kigezi Highlands, we have Kigezi Highlands in Kisoro in particular, Kisoro or Kanungu. Then we also have riverine forests. Riverine forests. Among the examples, we have what we call the Katonga riverine. Katonga riverine forest. This one is found in Impigi. We have Kafu River Rainforest. This one is found in Masindi. Then we have also what we call the Albert Nile forests. Albert Nile forests. These ones are found in the West Nile districts like Nebi, Ruwa, Moyo, and others. We have the river Rhine, I mean the Nile River Rhine. This one is pronounced in Kayunga. So we have those ones, the tropical rainforests, and have been divided into three. Then we have what we call the woodlands. We have the woodlands and the common ones. The common ones are Tim and the Molongole forest. Tim and the Molongole. Forests in Kabong. We have these woodlands. We have Mountain K forests, or the K forests in Moyo. These ones also moved to Adjumani. We have the planted forests. The planted forests include Katugo in Nakasongola. We have Katera in Kiboga. We have Muko and Mafuga planted forests. Mafuga planted forest in Kabale. Mafuga and Muko in Kabale. We have another Katera forest in Rakai at the fringes of Malabigambo forest. We have many of these planted forests. We have what we call Lendu forest. This one is in West Nile, specifically in Zombo district. We have Wiseli forest in Wiseli and Abel. These ones are found in Gulu. All these are planted forests. Besides, we have other aspects on the status of the forests or forestry in Uganda. We shall find out that forests, most of the forests in Uganda have been conserved as forest reserves, and they are manned by NFA. They are NFA and WUA. National Forest Authority and the Uganda Wildlife Authority. They are the ones, they are the bodies, government bodies, which are responsible for managing forests in Uganda. WUA is Uganda Wildlife Authority. Why are they managing these forests? Because some of these forests sometimes act as national reserves or wildlife reserves. And so WUA is responsible for. There is a lot of reforestation. And afforestation programs in Uganda. That's why we have seen those planted forests. We shall find out that on the fringes of most of these forests, a lot of reforestation is being done. If you went to Mabira Forest, you find out that they are trying to replant mahogany, musizi trees around Nagoje in Mukono. If you moved to Rakai, around Malabigambo Forest, still on its fringes, around those areas called Minziro. Minziro. They are also trying to replant the exhausted trees. Then afforestation, this one is in very many areas, and that's why we have very many planted forests, as we have mentioned them, the Mafuga, the Muko in Kabale, the Katugo, the Katera, the Abel, the Lendu in Zombo, and many others. Then still on the status, we shall agree that the types of trees, exotic trees that have been introduced, we have the pine, eucalyptus, and the cypress. These have been grown on very many plantations, forest plantations. Briefly, that's what I can say about the status. Now the question is asking us to before we can go into the gist of the question, can we have that map there? You must draw that sketch map and indicate those forests that we have been talking about. We have those forests there. You can see Mabira. And when you're drawing this map of Uganda, I will always request you to indicate the major features for you to easily locate the different features that you need to indicate. The major features are Lake Victoria, River Nile, we have Lake Choga, we have Albert Nile, Lake Albert, Lake Edward, and George. These ones are going to help us, and also include this River Aswa. And this, we hope you to always indicate those features in their relative positions. So when you look at this map, we have Mabira Forest. You can easily see Mabira Forest is in the western side of River Nile. Then we have another lowland tropical rainforest called Budongo. Budongo is in Masindi, Bugoma in Hoima. We have Kalinzu forest. This Kalinzu forest is in Rubirizi. And then these are supposed to have the key indicating that the lowland forests have been symbolized with an orange color. Then you go to the woodlands. We have our team there in the team in Kabong. We have Moroto in Moroto. We have Agoro in Kitgum. We have Zoka with Seli. in Zoka is in Moyo. Then we have Wiseli. Wiseli is in Chitugum. Sorry, is in Wiseli is in Gulu. We have our Katugo, the planted one. We have Katugo, we have Abel, we have Agwata. We can see Kagoma there in Jinja. Then we have more here. We have Roho. Roho is in Bunyaruguru. Bunyaruguru. Then we have Muko and the Mafuga around there. Then you indicate all these on the key. Then the question is asking us to explain the importance or to examine the importance of forests on the environment. One, forests modify climate. Forests modify climate, especially in the surrounding areas. They have led to the formation of convection rainfall due to evapotranspiration. This rainfall has been important in the development of agriculture and other sectors. You agree with me that those areas which are near which are near Mabira Forest in Buikwe have been used in the development of agriculture. That's why we have Lugazi sugarcane plantation near Mabira Forest in Buikwe. We also have the Kakira tea plantation in Jinja, which is also near Mabira Forest. If we moved to the west, you find out that Chamuhunga Tea Estate is near Chamuhunga Forest and also Maramagambo Forest in Busheni. The Kinyara sugar cane plantation in Masindi is also located near Budongo Forest. The reason why all those farms, all those plantations are located there is because of the heavy rainfall received in those areas brought about by the existence of those forests. Forests have promoted tourism. Earlier on, we said that some of these forests have been gazetted as national parks or wildlife reserves. And so they have promoted tourism. The wild animals which have been harbored by those forests, like Semlik Forest, there in Semlik Forest in Bundibujo. It is at the same time referred to as Semlik National Park. If you go to Bigambo of Rakai, though it has not yet been gazetted into a national park, there are a lot of wild animals, the baboons, the elephants, the buffaloes, and others. These have promoted tourism, earning a lot of foreign exchange. Still on tourism, forests, they themselves, they have a very beautiful scenery that attracts tourists. These areas have also been used as camping sites. If you're going to Jinja, you find a lot of camping sites in Mabira Forest. When you're going to Masaka, you see a lot of camping sites in the Panga Forest in Impiji, and so promoting tourism, earning a lot of foreign exchange to the government used to develop infrastructures, and ever to explain and also give the examples. Then we shall also agree that forests have tried to maintain soil fertility as well as controlling soil erosion. They have maintained soil fertility and also controlled soil erosion. The roots, those buttress roots, for example, in the tropical rainforests, have been responsible for binding the soils together. They cannot easily be taken out by the agents of soil erosion, like running water. Then the leaf foliage, the leaves, when they fall down, we shall find out that they naturally mulch the land, and so this has brought about fertility of the land, promoting agriculture. That's why we're having a lot of crops like sugar canes, matoke, and others being grown around the fringes of those forests. A good example, sugar canes near Kinyara, near Budongo Forest. Yes, I beg to end here, but you can always contact me on my number 0782 37 36 56. I wish you a nice day. Mwekume, corona ali Rio.